Hello, hello. Welcome to the show. So I get back here with another Minecraft adventure. And guess what? We've been working slowly but surely, steadily. If you can see all the area over here where things have been and whatnot. It looks like somebody's been doing quadrants instead of just doing the whole run. I have to assume that is Waterbear that's been doing that, along with this being the stairs down here. It looks like somebody's been on here and been working in the last few days since I've been on. But I've been focused on a couple of things, one of which I just saw this here. I kind of want to do something with that as well, shape that out. But one of which was blending this in. If you remember, I said something about this being like straight up and down all the way across here. There was a lot of just straight up and down. I went in and reblended all of that in to make it look more natural. It doesn't have to have zero cliff faces or anything like that. They just need to look more like a traditional or standard terrain generation. So that's exactly what we did. I also want to replant a lot of these trees within here, and as we get towards the top here where the snow is, and put in more spruce. But I'm going to work on that. I'm not going to light it all up or anything like that per se, but I think it was a good way to get some wood resources for myself and to just make the atmosphere look that much better for his backdrop. If he wants to light all that stuff up, I am not opposed to it. Waterbear, just go ahead and let me know, and I'll see what I can do to make that happen. We still have this area over here too that it just kind of drops down, and I don't know exactly what's going on with that. Something that I also thought about asking him, which I haven't yet, was curious to know, once he gets all of these in place, is he going to do some kind of pattern in there, or is it just all going to be gray? Hopefully he's looking into doing some kind of pattern with a different color of step. There's a couple of options for steps that he could do that with, which would be cool to see something like that. The first one that comes to mind for me is nether brick, just simply because it's the easiest to get in a large amount. But you could also say the same for sandstone. Would be a pretty cool contrast in color to that. Just some interesting ideas with that. Also did a little bit of work on landscaping and getting some terrain built around my cabin, which was the main reason why I popped up here, was just to get a better view of what it looked like from a distance. I really like... Whoops, that was the wrong button. I really like the way that it looks from down here. I have a feeling once this is all dug out, he's not even going to be able to see it from the bottom, which is kind of a good thing in my opinion. Like, I mean, if we went over here, which is the center, let's go ahead and take this guy out real quick. Okay, if we went over here towards the center and take a look at that, you see how it's already starting to peak above that mountaintop? And once we get some trees in place in there, there's a good chance that down below, when he's sitting in the center, he won't even see it. So it'll just be something that pops up when you're up above looking around and stuff, which is kind of what I was going for, as far as I don't want everything to be in your face. And I asked him flat out, I said, when I made it, I wanted to make sure that you know, it was okay that I made it, understanding that it's not going to be something that is overshadowing, is that the word I'm looking for? Something that is causing an eyesore or a big, hey, look at me. So all of this is built up through here. I also blended all of this in. I want to make a staircase around here. And I also started blending this in. As you can see, I used some cobble for filler. And I got a couple of rules of principle that I've been using, which have been working really well for me to blend some of this stuff in, and I'm going to continue on doing that, blending all of that in. I want to blend all of this in as well, all this stone that is just invisible. There's somewhere around here, there's a cave, and I have dug for it a couple of times, but I have yet to see it, but it's got to be really close to the surface. And then I want to build this up as well because of where the walkway is. Now, I've been working on that walkway, and I also did a more or less finished job of the walkway on the other side of the hill there that goes back towards where the pumpkins are. And I used some varying colors to accomplish that. Here's a good example right here. Colors and textures all together. The problem is the snow comes on it and then kind of covers it up. Well, the half slabs don't get covered with snow, so that looks a little bit weird. But what I'm doing, and I will show you how, is adding in lights that keep stuff from getting snow on them, like these torches are doing right outside the doorway here. Let's go ahead and take a quick siesta. Get rid of that pesky night and make sure that it doesn't snow again on us. Did the same thing back here and already implemented in some of my standard bushy bush lights with pumpkins, which was the reason why I wanted to grow them. So if you go back here, you'll see that there's sporadic bushes in different shapes and sizes throughout the area. Try to keep down on the snow that accumulates on things. I'm okay with a little bit of snow. This is a snowy area. I want that to be the case. It adds more detail, more texture, etc. to the area. Also got the fenced in area for the horse to go in. Don't have to worry about them escaping, but he can definitely make the jump. Ooh, I forgot to do that. I need to do that. I need to pull those out and put them in that color. And then we got a couple of things here that could be worked on. As you can see, I dug into the side here and it's just kind of left blah. I think I'm going to build up a couple of stones on the outside of this to make it look a little bit better. And then we've got our walkway over here that has all of those different textures in, and then random bushes again to keep some of that snow off. It looks like I could use one in this area somewhere, maybe over here somewhere. Get rid of some of that, but it's enough of it showing that you can see where it is. And then we're down here to my staging area, and this isn't even visible from the other side, so this is more so just for me while I'm over here. I can have a place to work, grow some trees, grow some pumpkins, grow some different crops if I need to. Food is not really an issue so far, and Water Bear's got a basic chicken farm thing that I can go kill all the chickens in and get probably a couple of stacks of chicken at a time. No problems there. So once I leave this area, I will probably clean all of this up and then just randomly grow in some spruce stuff, and then maybe leave like a little wood hut or something like that back here where I've made the path to, and that'll be the wrap up for this area. So I didn't make this path for nothing. I don't intend on leaving any farms or anything here because I don't intend on staying here forever. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on here at the spawner, and the main reason for that is I'm trying to get some axes that I can. Well, I'm trying to get an axe that I can use as a weapon. I've already got a mending book that I've traded for. I'm getting more emeralds. I found one of the villagers he had down there goes for sharpness 5. I don't think I've showed this off yet. I got an Infinity Power 5 on Breaking 3 mending bow. That was basically by combining bows and then adding a mending book, so it was pretty expensive. But now that I have 2 axes with efficiency 4 on them, I don't need to worry about anything else except for the sharpness book, I think, at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of this stuff away and clear my throat. Whee. Getting late in the season here, allergies. Well, not really allergies, just cold weather seems to do it every time. You can see we got a lot of bone blocks going on here, and that's a good thing. If we ever want to use them, they'll be plentiful. I don't think I really need to worry about anything else. I got another shovel already to replace the one I had that was only on Breaking 1. And this is about to die, which is fine because I don't want to replace it. Anyway, we can worry about the armor at a later date. Right now I'm just concerned about getting an axe taken care of so I could take down those trees. As far as I'm concerned, there's no real point in working on taking down that much with iron axes, it's just a waste of iron at this point. Excuse me, holy cow. But these are all paper villagers. I don't know what they're called. Librarians. So that's basically what I've been doing, is coming here and trading stuff up. He already has a whole bunch of sugarcane planted here, so we just come in here and use it. The reason why I'm at 38 levels basically was going AFK to get as much of this to grow as possible. Sugarcane has a weird growing timer compared to the other stuff, in my opinion, the other crops and stuff. It seems to be a little bit slower and less random versus the other stuff that grows. It's very random. If you have a whole bunch of stuff right next to each other, what's going to grow at what pace is you can't tell. You'll never know. This stuff, it all seems to grow pretty much at the same rate, and it also seems to be slower. And it's not very consistent for sugar cane or reeds. It's basically, this is like bamboo, and the way it grows, it's a very quick crop to grow, which is why sugarcane was considered a good cash crop originally. It doesn't require a lot of, specific things for the soil or whatever that it grows in, and it grows quickly. So it was something that at one time was very, very valuable. Nowadays, most sugar is actually beet sugar. It's made from beets instead of sugarcane, because beets grow even faster and are even less picky about conditions. For instance, beets particularly can grow in a much wider range of temperatures. So something that a lot of people don't know. If you haven't noticed the amount of skeleton horses that spawn yet in this map, it is very, very frequent and ridiculous. And part of that is because of the way that we have the weather set up in correlation with the sleeping thing, where one person can sleep to get rid of the weather. But the other part of that is the fact that it's just so set up so common for when there is a lightning storm for them to appear. And they are going to be changing that in 1.11, which should be out any time. But I think that's 1.11. But the part that gets me is, even when they introduce something like that and it's brand new and they want to make sure that everybody experiences it, something on that should be a rare level, a rarity. Not like, it doesn't have to be super rare. It just needs to have a different algorithm so that we're not surrounded by skeleton horses. 1, 2, 3. The one that fell, where's he? 4. There's a couple over on the other side. There's another group of them right over on the other side of this hill. So if you look at just what's based around Water Bear's base, where we've all been working, there's probably, there's a loud plane outside. There's probably a dozen of them or so just in that area. And it's silly. It's just silly that there's that many that spawn that frequently and that quickly. Now, don't get me wrong. I get that we play a lot on this server, and that sometimes is not the case for people, or it's more often that people will sleep so that you don't run into the weather situation of the lightning storms and stuff like that. So I will base some of that off of the fact that there are so many of us on and frequently on. But to me, it just seems ridiculous, and it at a certain point becomes redundant and makes that no longer a cool feature, but another one of these. It's almost an annoyance, especially since you don't know if they've been popped or not yet, so you're constantly going, is this one popped? Is this one popped? I still like the Easter egg effect of that, and I don't think they should change that, where you see one and it pops 4 skeleton horses with 4 skeletons on it. Definitely keep that in the game. But let's reduce the amount of them that is happening. You know what I mean? Don't mind if I do. Thank you, Water Bear. As you can see, he's in here just AFKing, trying to get some XP for probably repairing picks. We've been digging out stuff a lot in here. I just came on and I said hi to him and no response, so I just grabbed all of his skeletons. Let me show you some progress up top. Maybe he'll come on and go, "Hey, where's all the skeletons?" or something. Been working on this off and on throughout the week, but as you can see, we've come down quite a bit. This was 2 levels from the surface here when it was over there, and then I moved it over here and placed it on the ground, so we've gone down that much again. And it's just moving faster and faster because the circle itself is getting smaller, to the point that once we break through to the center section that he's already dug out, it's going to be super quick at that point. I'll show you that in a second. But as you can see, we've got quite a bit of storage going on here. Water Bear went a little bit crazy with the chests, I think, but we'll have all of this stuff to use. He already said if anybody ever needs any cobble, he's got it. I think he should do some kind of a cobble exchange, you know? Just exchange it for anything. A entire chest of cobble for anything other than cobble. The other part of that we've been saving is these different materials, which is great because if you want to use them, they're kind of a pain in the butt to go mine for. It's not like you can just go, oh, they're in this section, and then all of a sudden you have a whole bunch of them. It doesn't work that way, so this'll help out quite a bit. But I had 40 levels, which is all I was going to need to get all of this stuff done. And Water Bear loves to dig straight down, and I've died 3 or 4 times from going straight down from digging this out because I'll just be digging along and come across a hole that goes straight down, like this one. So I lost my 40 levels. I got all my stuff back. I fell into the spawner the last time and didn't actually die from the fall. Died from the skeletons because even on the surface we're so close that they keep spawning. And he got everything back for me, so I didn't lose anything. I did lose a... There he is. I did lose a mending pick. I was spacing. I used it and there wasn't any left. So we're at... It was just an efficiency 5, but Water Bear made this one here, so now I have a Fortune 3 pick with mending on it, which is dope. Absolutely dope. So we're going to use that as much as we can. And I want to get... this axe made so I can use this sword up, which is just a sharpness 1 sword, and then I'll have my weapons taken care of and my pick. I don't bother putting mending on a silk touch pick, it just makes no sense. It only costs 2. Okay, we'll do that. And then adding this to this costs what? Only 8? Oh, I can do that now. I thought it was going to be a whole bunch. Efficiency 4, Unbreaking 3, Sharpness 5, Mending, and let's go ahead and see if we can name it. Let me guess. Psycho's Cleaver. Boom, done. Okay, got my new axe.
Are you throwing shit on me?
No.
I was wondering why I had that stuff on me.
I'm not throwing anything on you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Have you seen the new trailer yet?
For Rogue One?
Yeah.
Yes.
What'd you think?
It's gonna be a good movie.
It's
to me, it looks like... I don't know if she is like who she is, but her dad somehow To me, it seems like her dad has something to do with building the Death Star.
That's they basically alluded to in it. I thought it was pretty dope. Do you know the what the heck is it called? I think it's just called King Arthur. The movie.
Yes.
That was like the samurai looking guy, Tristan or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Her dad. It's so cool to see him in that, and he's basically the same character. Like, I wonder if that's just how that guy is, because if that's how that guy actually is, that's amazing.
Uh huh. Yeah, when I saw that, it's like, oh, it's like that's her dad. Yeah, it's gonna be a good movie, that's for sure.
Yep. Waterbear actually turned off the breeder for a while. We're not. Oh, there's still spiders here. Why does that creeper have no face? What the heck? That was weird. That was more than a creeper. It was like a Slenderman creeper or something. This one did it for a second too. There's something going on with the rendering. Oh, he was just looking sideways. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I thought there was another one. I also cleared all of this out like ahead of time so that we didn't fall into it, because going through this stuff, as I told you earlier about falling into all the random holes that Waterbear dug, I didn't want to fall into the lava and lose everything. That would be a no bueno. But then he got the extra beacon going on and everything, so we laid these out quasi-center. If you go east to west, it also has less of the block lag, like when you're hitting with the haste 2 and the efficiency 5, it's basically insta-mine like this, and for some reason north to south causes invisible blocks a heck of a lot more than east to west. Also, something I learned just the other day, if you know where the block is, say it was this one right next to this, you can just place something in it and it will make it pop, and then you can keep on going. So I always carry some dirt with me, that way I don't have to log in and out to make it reappear. But there you go, that's the trees up there. And the main thing about that idea for the trees up there was to make it look more natural, because sometimes, even though it's a forest, like right there's a perfect example. See how cluttered and clustered those trees are? They're way too close to each other. It's not natural for a forest to be like that. Trees wouldn't be able to grow if they were that close to each other. If you've been in a dense forest before, you can still get through the trees pretty easily, and the ground floor is fairly clear because there's no light that penetrates it. Nothing grows there. It's just full of debris and brush typically. So I wanted to make it look a little bit more like it should with that. Finished blending everything in on this side as much as I was going to. Let's go ahead and run up there and take a look at it closer. I'm going to do that section right there. Waterbear pointed it out and I did not see it, so I'm definitely going to do that. And then as far as everything else around here, there's really nothing that needs to be dealt with. It looks pretty dang good. I think once you're in the hole, when it's completed, you're not only going to be really able to see any of this anyway. It'll just be the tops of the trees more than anything else. But see, nothing too big. Keep it fairly sparse. That's also a common thing that happens with snowy areas, is because of how cold it is. It's hard for trees and stuff to take root. Now, to get these things to grow, essentially all I did was pillar up with dirt, like 3 or 4 up, and then put a sapling on it, grow the tree, and then fill in the extra with the logs. So that's why all of these look a little bit more tall and spindly. That kind of works out though, because that's fairly common for pine trees, not spruce, but pine trees in snowy areas. So what's the concept behind this?
That I'm crazy and I just like big pools. Really, it's kind of gonna be floating when it's all said and done.
Okay.
Just because I like elytra so much, so I'm gonna have like if you go down to the middle over there where all the grass is,
yeah,
it's gonna be like that'll probably be houses and stuff like that, just kind of main living space. In that, like an outer rim up on top, we'll probably have more houses and stuff. And then the center, I'll probably do some type of big storage room. I don't know if I'm going to do something with the colorful boxes, whatever they're called. Or if I'm going to do like a regular storage room and then just use shulker boxes.
Oh, shulker boxes.
If I'll just use those in my ender chest for them or what.
So you're not going to dig out. Basically, the whole side's going to be center. I mean, the whole side's going to be center. The whole side's going to be solid, like where the stairs are. It's going to be solid all the way around. But what you're saying is that ring, if you go down towards that layer right there. In fact, I'll go down there to give the audience a better idea. It's all going to continue to go down. It's going to be like a bowl, more or less.
Right, with a step.
Which means if you're on this level, if you look at the grass ring, if you're on this level and you want to go over there to that side, you either have to walk all the way down and go up, or as he was saying, if once we have the elytra, we can just fly over there and do what we're going to do over there.
Yeah, you can walk down and around, down and up, or you can walk around, or you can fly over there. And I mean, it's centered on the. This hole's not actually in the center, but the center is the portal down there. If you need to find the center, you can just run and jump right into the ender portal.
So, in relation to that, you have a couple of things up top. The villager breeder is more or less a temporary thing. It's not going to stay there.
Yeah, that was get the mending villagers, and we'll use it for getting map villagers.
And you have 3 villagers still in there, so that way you can create a new one, a new village.
Yeah, to turn it back on. Yep.
So what are you thinking you're going to do for the skeleton thing? Because the skeleton spawner itself, which I didn't know this,
is on the terrace.
It's right here.
Yeah, so. It's on the terrace. The only thing that sucks about it is that it actually cuts off part of it. So, because it actually goes through it a little bit on this one corner here.
Like the spawnable area?
Yeah. So I'll probably... I haven't decided if I'm just going to leave it oddly shaped or if I'll just put it sunken into the steps yet or not. But I don't want... If we run it back on top, I don't want that big thing sticking out of the ground in the end. So
I'll drop.
Yeah. Somehow I'll turn it into a crusher.
Crusher, or
leave
lava,
it as an
you can do a lava blade too.
Well, in long term, I mean, I'll build another ender as the XP farm. So it's just going to be used for bones because everybody's using bone blocks.
Right. So it's going to be more of a farm spawner than an actual XP spawner, especially with you having the ender portal right there.
If you come down here,
you made that? Holy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have feather falling. Even if I didn't make it, I would have been fine.
I'd have died.
But there's also cave spider spawners. There's one there. There's another one over there somewhere.
He had this thing so full. Was it last night? When I came on, it was so full. I went in there to kill him, and they were walking up the ladder on their own.
Yeah. I let the chest down there fill up with eggs, and then I kill everybody, and then just throw all the eggs, and whatever hatches is how much is in the next batch.
But this is a good example of how much the game has changed right here. Because this many chickens on, say, 1.7, it would have killed the server.
Yeah.
It'd be unplayable.
Well, in 1.11, too, we're going to have to change one of the game rules. Because in 1.11, they're going to have something that break that, and break the skeleton spawner, and where if there's, I want to say they're defaulting it to either 8 or 10 mobs touching it themselves, touching one another.
Yeah.
If there's, say there's one chicken on this block here, and there's 10 chickens in this one block, it would kill all of those chickens. They would take suffocation damage.
That's ridiculous.
It's to help with people that, like your son, who don't have a good PC. I mean, he's got a decent PC, but there's kids that don't.
But the thing is if that is ruining... Okay, this is just my take. If that kind of thing is ruining thing, I can understand adding that. Well, that's the issue. I was just going to say I can understand we're doing for the Windows 10/tablet versions, the Pocket Edition, but they're trying to make it so Java and Pocket Edition and 10 are always the same thing. Console Edition even. So they can have that cross-platforming thing.
Right.
Well, that's pretty much all I wanted to ask you or talk to you about. I didn't have anything else. I got a conversation about Rogue One, which is the only other thing that I thought was relevant going on right now. To close that one up, the best thing about that is every time I see one of those previews, it is just so nostalgic and true to the original trilogy. Like the previews for when the new one came out. What was it called? Phantom Menace? No.
The pre-trilogy?
No. The new one that just came out.
I
can't remember what it was called.
Star Wars. Oh, son of a gun.
Anyway, that one where we get introduced
just bad.
To Snoke. Force Awakens. It was like, oh, dude, I hope this is going to be like the preview because this feels so much like the original series and everything is kind of bulky and gritty and, you know...
It wasn't Phantom Menace.
That's exactly. Everything was sleek and new and futuristic. Well, that's the whole point of the series. I think that's why it went over so well from the get-go was in a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That means that the technology, sure, it's advanced, but it advanced differently. So everything still looks very mechanical and kind of, you know, you have to go change parts on your spaceship like you do a car, and it's just cool. It's very cool.
Oh, and the thing I like about it too, it's like it's what you just said a long time ago. It's like we're the future for Star Wars. It's just like that's mind blowing. I think that this is where we're at now, and that's where the Star Wars universe was at. It's the Old Republic. That was 3,000 years ago. I mean, or 1,000 years before where it's at now. So, and they still had lightsabers. It's like, what if Earth is somewhere in the Star Wars universe? What happened to get rid of everything? Droids and it's just like I'd love to know what happened to kill the Star Wars universe and turn it into Earth.
How far did everything get destroyed and decimated? That could open up a whole new can of worms because, you know, we're getting ready to, in relative terms based off of how long humanity's been around, very soon we'll be on Mars, and I've long since theorized and felt like humans have already been on Mars. They done screwed that planet up and then they moved to Earth. So it'd be amazing and so vindicated, like, for that to actually come to fruition, where it says, "Oh, we just found a skeleton. Humans were actually here on." I told you guys.
That would be insane.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
I highly doubt it, but that's insane.
Like all of the lore and legends of things like Atlantis would be vindicated at that point too. Like,
right.
All of a sudden, all these myths would have substance.
And it'd be like, who brought us here to Earth then?
That's what the Ark was, man. It wasn't a flood. Well, or it was a flood like, you know, Halo flood. Okay,
yeah.
I'm cross genre too much now. I'm going too crazy with it. We're gonna call it here. As usual, folks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget that like and subscribe if you enjoyed my videos, and I hope to see you here on another adventure as we continue to create and explore and talk about things and life and stuff. We'll see you next time.